Hello and welcome to the Prepare to Compete podcast. We talk all things VA disability benefits, real estate, entrepreneurship, and more. Kenneth Davis, how you feeling today, my brother?
Man, I'm blessed and highly favored. Blessed and highly favored, brother. What about yourself?
Man, doing pretty well. Can't complain.
Excellent. It's a great day to educate veterans, right?
Wonderful day to do that. Every day is a great day to educate veterans. So when we're talking about educate veterans, we're actually talking about education, right? So we've been talking a lot about Chapter 35 and how that kind of works for the dependents, right? And now we want to get into talking about the Chapter 31 benefits. But before we get too far in the weeds, can you really give us a breakdown of the differences between the Chapter 35 benefits and the Chapter 31 benefits?
So when we're talking about the Chapter 35 benefits, you always want to be thinking in mind the 35, right? That is specifically for the dependents, right? This one here, it's a little different in nature in regards to criteria, in regards to who it serves, in regards to payments, and so on and so forth. However, it definitely serves similar purposes, though.
Absolutely. All right, that's great. So it definitely serves those similar purposes. So now when we're talking about the Chapter 31 benefit, how do you actually qualify for that benefit as a veteran?
So Chapter 31, obviously, in regards to Chapter 35 being a dependent, right, it's just, again, a dependency, you're 100% permanent and total, and that's the benefit. Well, for Chapter 31, you must have a service-connected disability to be 20% or more to receive Chapter 31 benefits, Vocational Readiness Employment Program benefits, okay? And that is to be able to recertify in an employment industry that you may or may not want to dive in. So you must be a service-connected veteran at 20% or more.
Absolutely. Okay. So now if you're a service-connected veteran at 20% or more and you're utilizing that benefit, so what are some kind of distinctions between how much money you can actually get for that benefit depending on whether you're going to school full-time, 3/4 time, part-time, and et cetera?
Yeah, so when we're talking about Chapter 31, we're talking about the benefits. You get different benefits. You get different amounts of compensation, compensable benefits. If you're going to college, trade school, on-the-job training, apprenticeship programs to be able to recertify in an employment industry. But with that being said, this is an educational program to help the veteran to obviously certify to be self-sustainable. With this education program or with this benefit, you're going to layer in different amounts of payments that you're able to receive, and that's called the post 9/11 substances pay. So for the benefit of Chapter 31, they're going to pay for your college tuition, trade school tuition, on-the-job training, to include equipment, but it's going to be based upon your vocational rehabilitation counselor. Okay. But with that said, I want you to understand that there are going to be different payments allotted. Just like Chapter 35, depends on if you get full-time, half-time, quarter-time, how many courses you're taking, hours that you're logging, and different things of that nature, right? So, but specifically for full-time, what it's going to be $768. Okay, $768, that's what you're going to receive every single month, okay? That's a monthly payment, very similar to GI Bill benefits, but it is not the GI Bill benefit. I want to always make sure that we explain that because I don't want to intermingle the two because these are two separate and distinct benefits and two separate and distinct pots of allocation of funding. So for halftime, it's going to be $386. I want to explain to you guys, I know it may not seem of a substantial pay, but you got to realize you're service connected already. Okay, so you're receiving compensable benefits for that. And also to use this benefit, you must exhaust your GI Bill benefits before you actually can qualify for this. Okay, that is a very important point. You must exhaust your GI Bill benefits before you're able to qualify for your Chapter 31 benefits. All right. So, but again, it's $386. Okay, it's $386 a month for your obviously living standard, right? Such things that you're able to food, housing, different things. They're just giving you something a little extra because they're already paying for your college tuition, and your post 9/11 has been exhausted already. Okay, 3/4 time is going to be $577. So again, 3/4 time. Again, you can go in and explain again how that works. But that's going to be $577 a month, whether if you're going to an educational institution or what have you. 1/4 is $193. It's going to be $193 for you. So every single month, direct deposit, that's what you're going to receive. It's probably, logging a few hours or taking one class, very similar to that nature. So yes, that's kind of the breakdown in the pay. But we got to understand that is a 6.2% increase from last year.
Got it.
Okay, so that's a cost of living adjustment that they didn't have previously. So that's a pretty substantial adjustment. Back in 2022, we must remember that it was a 5.9% increase for service-connected disability benefits of cost of living adjustment. So, and that was 5.9, and everyone's ranting and raving about that because that was a huge increase at the time. So when we're talking about 6.2, that's a relatively pretty large increase.
Absolutely, no, definitely. And I know you brought up the GI Bill and the different nuances there. You have to actually exhaust this bill, exhaust the GI Bill before you actually utilize this one here.
Yes, sir.
All right, so now understanding what type of individuals are usually, I guess, utilizing the Chapter 31 benefit, right? Because when we're thinking about it, like, well, you had your whole GI Bill that you already used already, or do you see service members that for whatever reason didn't qualify for the GI Bill using this program, or how does that kind of work? Where it's like, okay, well, why do I still need to use the Chapter 31 benefit if I already had access to the GI Bill?
Everyone's military service is special to them. And again, you must typically have, based on wartime service and non-wartime service, the qualifications of GI Bill, typically around 2 years of service before qualifying, right? Typically, but again, it could be 90 days of service. It could be, it all depends, right? That's another video that we could talk about all that stuff. But let's say, for instance, if you were qualified, you were not qualified to get GI Bill benefits, right? Let's say you were other than honorable. Okay, you received the other than honorable discharge. You're not able to receive your GI Bill benefits. And again, that's not just because you're other than honorable. There's other reasons. But you're other than honorable. However, you received an honorable discharge based upon VA qualification and standards. So now, with that being said, you can be able to utilize the Chapter 31 if you're 20% rated or more. Okay, if you're 20% rated or more. So again, if you are not qualified for GI Bill benefits, but you're rated 20% or more, and you are currently working a job or something of that nature, and you want to go back to school for a different industry, and your service-connected disability is flaring up, well, if you're in a position where you must resign because of that, or on the way out to resign because it's getting that bad, and it's getting that bad, or you're terminated, at that point, you can be able to qualify for that benefit because you need to recertify in a different industry.
Okay.
You need to recertify in a different industry because if you work construction, right, and your service-connected disability are your knees, and you're really, tracking, doing different things, and with that, your flare-up of pain is happening on a regular basis. We must consider that. We have to take that into consideration, and now you can't work that job. That's not a position or occupation where you can work forever. So now you'll have to transition to industry, but you need to be retrained.
Got it. So, all right. So basically what I'm hearing there is that you may have exhausted your GI Bill, and now you're utilizing the Chapter 31 benefit because maybe you got your GI Bill, you utilized your GI Bill to go and get a business degree, and you did something like me, and you realize that ain't really gonna get you no money having no business degree, man, out here. And now you exhausted that, and now you're utilizing your Chapter 31 benefits to actually go and get certified in IT or a high demand field.
100%. You're 100% correct, because there's so many different reasons that you could have exhausted the GI Bill, not being able to qualify. You could, not only that, again, you exhausted it by, like you said, I qualified, I went to school, I did everything I needed to do, but I got a degree in something that I wasn't too privy of, right? Or it's just not serving its purpose. And I'm at a job that is affecting my service-connected disabilities, right? Now you can be able to qualify for this because, again, if you're going to be if you're on terminated or going to be able to resign, that's something that you qualify for.
Or what if you're in a situation where what you utilize your GI Bill for, you can't even get a job in that industry at all because it's kind of non-existent. You got ChatGPT, taking you out of the whole industry. And killed that whole situation there for you.
Yeah, 100%. Again, I know a few artists that were supposed to be artists, and the next thing you know, they got an art degree, and
Ain't nobody's drawing freehand no more, man. I'm an artist. You see this thumbnail on this video, I made it.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, but no, that works out. So, so with that Chapter 31 benefit, right? So we're doing that, and now they're able to utilize that for pretty much any type of apprenticeship programs and kind of on-the-job training and different things of that nature.
Typically, again, the industry needs to be something that is obviously something that qualifies, right? Qualifications typically is going to be based on the VA standards. So I will always urge you to speak with your VA rehabilitation counselor before diving into an industry of that nature. Obviously there's positions that we've had and discussed, and it's a hot topic right now, right? We've discussed the marijuana industry, right? That's such huge by state, but federally it cannot be recognized. With the VA, be able to, qualify that industry to provide voc rehab benefits, to learn how to do certain things of that nature, that goes into the marijuana industry. Well, we don't know that just yet. It depends. So that's why I always urge you, speak with your voc rehab counselor before deciding upon to go into a specific industry once you qualify, because it's very rigid.
That's great, because I remember people utilizing their GI Bill, and I think it's only about 36 months of kind of continuous enrollment.
Yeah. So the GI Bill, again, we can't get into that. We'll go into another video of that. But yeah, there are certain limitations, just like it is certain limitations in the Chapter 31 as well.
Yeah, absolutely. But what I wanted to get into that is that, you have veterans kind of rushing through like, oh, I better finish my education really quickly because before my GI Bill expires, and they just probably didn't have the education that they may actually qualify for the Chapter 31 benefit.
Yeah, true indeed. And there's certain veterans that don't have the education now, who is probably 10% rated, 20% rated, and haven't used their voc rehab benefits. And it's a shame, because this does have its expiration date as well. So when we're talking about the Chapter 31 benefits, it has typically a 12-year expiration date, okay? From the date that you are service connected, right? So we gotta always take that consideration. So once that 20% hits, you got 12 years thereafter.
Okay,
right?
Got it. So once you become 20% or more.
Yes, 20% or more. Thank you for the clarification. Yes, 20% or more, because it is important, right? You may think that you're 20% and you got out in, 1980 or 1990. And that qualification, you will believe that it serves you. Well, unfortunately, as we would believe, just because we don't have the knowledge does not mean they're not going to hold you to that standard. So at that point, you will not qualify for voc rehab or the Veteran and Readiness Employment Program, which is unfortunate. I think every veteran needs to be educated in regards to their benefits, because I think a lot of the information sometimes is a little cryptic. So, but when we're talking about this, unfortunately, that's the standard.
So now, what if, like, just kind of an example that you've just named there. So let's say I was 20% service connected in the year 2000, right? Now we're in 2023, right? And I actually go in and get an increase, right? This year, I just got approved for an increase. Now I'm 80%, right? So for my qualification for Chapter 31 benefits, are they going to base that 12-year time period off of my initial being 20% in the year of 2000, or will they kind of extend that because now I'm, about 80%?
No, they're going to base it on the percentage that you're qualified on once you become qualified, and that's 20%. So once you hit 20%, it's a 12-year running ticker. Okay, so that's something that is, but also, like I said, speak with your vocational rehabilitation counselor to just double check, because the standards change all the time. Again, they're sometimes they're very program specific. And with that being said, but generally speaking, yes, that would again expire the benefits.
Yeah, and obviously, again, like we talked about, we were talking about the dependent benefit. Veterans need to know that you have that Chapter 31 benefit that you can utilize, but also you can still go ahead and qualify for other types of financial aid as well. So don't feel that if that benefit is not enough to cover your tuition and fees, or you're no longer qualified for that benefit, you still have other avenues of funding your education. So make sure that you always kind of look into every single avenue and not just this particular one here.
True indeed. There's state benefits that you qualify for. A lot of states are very veteran-centric, and they have different opportunities for veterans to be able to receive free education, not just free education, but also other opportunities as well. So we have to kind of dive into some of the state-specific programs as well, which again, that's something that's going to be coming, where we're diving into some of the state-specific programs that's going to provide educational funding, occupational development, and also entrepreneurial development as well.
And it might be some other scholarships that you qualify for as well. And in the future, Veterans for Veterans, we're going to come up with a scholarship fund for you guys, man. So definitely stay tuned for that. That's definitely on the horizon.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for watching this segment. So stay tuned with us and actually learn a little bit more about that entrepreneurship and the different opportunities available for veterans. So thank you guys for watching. Prepare to compete. Talk to you soon.